This is the dual sample playback mode on the disting mk4. Let's just turn up the sound. So basically this can play two samples at the same time. Here it's just playing two loops. One's coming out of A, the other one's coming out of B, and they're pan stereo in the video. The parameter lets you put them in the middle, basically. So either mono samples coming out equally or stereo samples actually playing back in stereo. Let's put it back into this one for now. So that's playing two samples, which is nice, but things really get interesting in this mode if you send in some triggers. So trigger X and Y triggers the two samples on A and B. So let's change the sounds to some slightly shorter sounds and then enable some triggers. So there we go. Trigger in X is triggering the sample playing out of A. Trigger into Y is triggering the sample playing back out of B. Independent outputs, or again, sums to mono or stereo if they're stereo samples. And then Z controls the samples. These are controlled in pairs, and I've got my playlist set up so that bass drums are always on the left and other things are always on the right. I've got some different bass drums and snares, and I've got some cymbals kind of up here, which is kind of fun. And then of course you can put a CV into Z as well, and if you put a CV in a kind of rhythmic pattern, then although there's only ever two samples playing at the same time, if you modulate which sample is playing, then you can get some really quite complex patterns going. Quite a vanilla drum sound there, but you could of course put in any algorithmically or randomly generated trigger sequences you like into these inputs and any old CV into that. So there's lots of fun to be had. These trigger inputs are also velocity sensitive in that the stronger the trigger pulse sent in, the louder the sound will be. You can hear that in this pattern to some extent, but if I change the pattern to one with some more obvious accents, there you go. You can see the different strength of pulses on the light, and you can hear the accents on the different snare hits. So again, this gives you another level of depth to make your patterns more interesting. So there you go, dual sample playback on the disting mk4.